Hello everyone, it's Klaus here, and today guys I'm going to review the second part of the Bionicle playset released in 2005. Of course, I'm talking about the Battle of Metru Nui playset. So remember, I have already reviewed some elements of this set yesterday. So for example, I've already reviewed all the figures plus this part and these two parts, which were the same because, as you can see, in fact, there is two sides, and of course these two sides are similar. They are exactly the same, apart that they are of course symmetrical. So, but the gimmicks are the same and stuff like that. So today I'm going to review these two last elements, these two last parts, these two last parts, excuse me, and that will be all. So let's move on and begin the review with first this part, like I said. So let me just adjust my webcam. So as you can see, the frame of the of this building part, if I can say so, is made with some plates, so nothing really different here. Then we're going to use this big slope bricks right there and this big part to make some big pillars. Notice this part on the side, of course, which are quite useful to link all the parts of the playset together, and of course it will also allow you to put the parts of the playset the way you want. So that's really a nice feature of this set. Notice the pillars on the back also, which really make it strong and hold everything well. And then notice this part, which is really important. So the little brick with a pinhole, because it will be useful to link this part of the walls. This part of the wall. Notice also the light gray fence, which will be quite useful. So how I'm going to link this one part, well, it's very simple. It's thanks to this black part, as you can see, with some pinholes and some studs on the other side. So thanks to the studs, I will be able to link all these gray parts on this black part, which serves as the frame, if I can say so. And well, as you can see, I've got pins on both sides. So this means I'm going to link this right there. And thanks to the light gray fence I've talked about, this means this part will not fall on the ground, which is quite interesting for the rest of this review. Then I'm going to add these bricks with, once again, this brick with a pinhole, and on the other side the brick with two pinholes, once again to link all the parts of the playset together. So it will be linked like that, and of course this thing works the same way on this side. That side, I'm going to link this plate right there, because the first floor, if I can say so, the first floor, the frame of the first floor is made with these plates, and then on this dark gray plates I'm going to link all the big plates to really cover the floor, to really make the ground. So, excuse me, just some poster falling off. So I'm going to add this slope bricks first, like that. Then I'm going to finish this floor with first this part with some slope bricks, as you can see, some transparent part, and this yellow Proteus Nivas claw, so a nice recolor. It will be linked like that. And then here I'm going to link the part which is really important to finish the gimmick, if I can say so, of this part of the set. It's this type of plates, as you can see, which has some kind of trap. So of course the ground fall off under the guy which is on it. So really a part you may recognize because it has been used really tons of times. The only little difference is this part, this tan part right there, which should be quite useful because I'm going to link this part like that, and then I just have to put the wall like that, and as you can see, it's closed itself. Why it's closed itself? Well, thanks to the tan part right here, which touch this plate, and that's how it works. That's all. Everything's it's all it's together. Then I'm going to add some more details. So first, excuse me, just looking for something. So yeah, there's two lasers here used as some type of fence right here, and then there's the nickel part linked on some hinges part right there. It will be linked this way. And that will be all, in fact. This part is finished, so I'm just going to do a little turn around and show you once again the gimmick, because, well, I have already shown you how it works. So I'm going to take this type of rock parts. So like you may know that in the Bionicle playset, these parts come in dark gray with some nice trans orange fade, which is really cool. And of course, this part can be divided in 2 sections. So well, for those who do not know this part. So well, how it works, well, it's very simple. Just have to do the okay, just have to do this, and then just play around with these 2 parts, and it's supposed to fall off. Sometimes it doesn't really work because the part stays in place for I do not know why, but for example, this one doesn't really seem to work quite well, but most of them work just fine like that. I think you may be able to make this work in another way, but I do not know, so just let me check. Well, yeah, no, you're just supposed, in fact, you have to touch this part like that. So kind of, yes, you just hit the wall and it will work like that. So quite simple, and well, works pretty nice. And that said, also just notice one last element is this part right here, which will be useful to link the next part of the playset. So I'm going to put this here and then move on to the second part I'm going to review in this second or just forget, just let's move on to this part. I'm quite I think I'm quite tired today, excuse me. I'm not going to talk French now. So yeah, this part, well, as you can see, it's a tower, really simple. There is no gimmicks in there. So the only things to notice is that the ground, if I can call this like that, the ground or the floor, as you can see, is empty. There is a square of empty space, and it will be quite useful later on. For the rest, well, it's really simple. Pillars, this type of strange parts with technique holes, which are useful to link some hose pipes to add some more details. This bricks with axle holes which will be useful to add this baroque teeth and once again add some details. Nice arc right there. The second floor is made with this big brick. And then also notice all the slope bricks here, there. So, well, overall, the second floor works the same as the first one, as you can see. So it's the same thing. An older head right there, to our older head. This transparent antenna, some castles elements, and then some more Bionicle elements used right there. And well, it works quite nice if you want my opinion about this part, but of course it's quite empty. But at least the lack of walls really allows you to play with your figures and have no problems moving your hand in there and play with them. So that said, I'm going now to I'm just going to show you how this works. So I'm going to link this part, in fact, on the 2 plates with studs right there, and this means, of course, I will be allowed to move to put in or out, put in or out really easily. So this means I can link it like that quite easily and then put it off without any problems. Well, of course, sometimes the studs, the plates just stay on it, but that's not my fault. So that's all it likes when the two parts are put together. And well, this, as you can see, this part we will be able to put it like that thanks to the hole I mentioned earlier, because of course, even with the tower on it, this part still works. So, that said, let's move on. Just all well, right there. That said, I think I'm going to link everything together now. So all the play sets. So well, I'm going just to put it on this side. So going just to move a little the webcam, so you will be able to see how it works. Well, you will not maybe able to see how everything is linked together, but well, I'm just going to move on. So of course I'm going to link this part thanks to this elements right there, and there's brick with pinholes. But once again, you can put this the way you want. So here, of course, I'm going to put the different parts of the set the way it's supposed to be, the way the instruction booklet shows you how to put these parts together. But once again, you can really use your imagination and put the parts the way you want to make the type of fortress you want. Also, you have to notice that you can put the part of the Tower of Toa with this one without any problems because it works exactly the same. On the other hand, the playset of the Visorax gate do not have any of this part on the side, so you can't put the Visorax gates set with all this parts. Well, you can still mod the Visorax gates to hold this parts. It's quite easy, so you can do it by your own. So I'm going to add this, of course, and then it will be time for the little sum up. So of course this thing is quite big, so I'm going just to I'm going maybe first to show you one last thing about this set. It's the Visorax webs. So you might remember that in all the other sets we used this part, so of course kind of well, a rope, if I can say so, plus the studs on the side. It was quite easy and quite discreet. You can put this part like that and it works just nice. But not in this set. They decided to change this part to a different thing, which is this one. So you still have the rope, but as you can see, you have no studs on both sides. You just have the rope. So and to replace these studs, they give you this brick. So brick, as you can see, with some little open space right there, and so this means you're supposed to do yourself the knot right there, and then of course let the rope pass through this part, and then of course the knot will be blocked at this point. And so, for example, you can I'm going to link this right there, and as you can see now, I can force the rope, and it will not fall off. It will the knot is held against the brick, and of course now you can put a second brick like that and link the second side right here, for example, if you want. But of course, so this is how it works, and of course we got in this set 2 ropes and 4 of these bricks, but I've just lost one of these bricks, so I can't really show you the second one, but still, well, so that's how it works. And I'm going to talk about this sometime later on in the sum up. So that said, that was just me talking about the new web Visorax webs, and now just let put the figures together. I'm going to do this quick. Yeah. Here is it's the spare vertical spinner, which is supposed to be here if you lost this one, for example. So that's why I put this part here, because it's a part of the set. Now let's move on with the tower. This part is not supposed to be here, and then I'm just going to put the rope and the stuff right there. So if you want a little excuse me. So here what the sets look like when it's totally finished. The figures and the set. So like I said, there is like 7 different parts in this playset. So the first one, well, if you take on this side, is the tower, so with no gimmicks. Then you got this part with the 2 walls which can be punched kind of to let fall the rock, which works quite nice. Then you got the catapult part right there. Then you got the main part, of course, with many gimmicks. And then once again, it's these things, but on the other side in a symmetrical way. So it's exactly the same, except for the way these parts are put, as you can see, of course. The 8 Visorax with the big one, and the 6 Tower Ordica, and of course the 2 web Visorax webs elements. So that said, let's do a little sum up about this big playset. So first, the minifigs. So once again, the Tower Ordica are really nice in terms of details because they really got some nice heads, really detailed heads, which are really look like the canister size set. So it's really nice. On the other hand, of course, they got no articulations at all. So they are nice in terms of little they got some charisma, I have to admit. They got some nice, some intriguing aspect, but still there is no articulations at all, so that might be a little problem, of course, in terms of playability. So apart from the clips and the thing to link them to the studs, there is nothing more, so that can be a little problem. I also have to notice that even if they do not have the same weapon as their canister-sized set counterpart, they still got some nice new spear, which is really original and works quite nice. So the things got some nice little charisma. I think they got some nice steel, but well, they got no articulation, so that's really a drawback in terms in comparison to the usual Lego minifigs. But well, that's just another way to make some figs. So well, it's up to you to if you like them or not. Personally, I think it's so. I like them because they are quite well designed in terms of details on the heads, but well, I do not really like the lack of articulation, I have to admit. It's really a little problem. Then you got the Visorax, which are really softer, if I can say so, than the Tower Ordica, because first they got a softer plastic, which allows them to do this type of stuff, and also they got much more gimmicks. So like I said, they can jump. They can also be linked to the web thanks to their little teeth right there. So I can put this one here, for example. Without any problem like that. Also, they can glow in the dark and they have some pinholes which can be useful. The only little problem with this one, I think, is that maybe I would have preferred if they got their original color rather than the black and glow in the dark color fade, because, well, glow in the dark is a cool gimmick, but, well, it just works when it's night and you don't really play with your toys at night without any lights, on, so without any lights off, excuse me. So yes, I do not really know, well, but apart from that, they're really nice. And then you got the big Visorax, which works just fine, pretty well articulated, 3 gimmicks on this one, so it can of course close the teeth, launch the robotica spinner, and also the special gimmick which allows you to launch some Visorax like that, really in a simple way. And it works just great. So really nice. Plus, of course, it got this exclusive 3-colored part, the gold part, which is quite nice. So the only problem I might have with this one is the fact that they do not choose to put any armor on this double connector. But apart from that, I think it's really a nice speeder with some nice, some really nice frame. So it's a nice take on the usual Visorax canister-sized set form. It's a cool Visorax. And then of course the set itself. So well, first the color scheme is quite great, I have to admit. Well, you got some dark white, which is quite nice, and of course the usual dark gray and black. But seriously, the dark red and the yellow just mix pretty well together. And even if there is still some basic colors like the dark gray and the black, I think the color scheme works just fine. It's really great, and you still have this dark red feeling which pop out in your face, and it was just great. In terms of part selection, well, you're gonna have many big blocky parts, so there's big sloped bricks and stuff like that. Some more unusual parts, like for example, well, the unique mask, for example. But most of those parts, I think, are rather traditional parts that you can find in many sets. This part also with the stickers on it, with just some studs, and the other part is studless. I may think quite interesting also. And then you have also some nice recolored Bionicle parts. So overall, in terms of parts, I think it's quite nice. You have only many parts to make some other type of big buildings with big blocky walls and stuff like that. So quite nice in my opinion. And then, well, let's move on maybe first to the complaint I have with this set. Then, so the complaint, well, first, like the Tower of Toa, it doesn't really have any details in the interior, in the inside. So of course, there's parts right there and here. Well, you're not really supposed to play in this because, of course, the gimmicks also. Well, the inside are used for the gimmicks to work, so you can't really play in this. But for example, in the head or in the tower, there is absolutely nothing. So a lack of details, which can be a little problem. Also, the construction, which is well only made of big blocky parts, can be a little problem for those who prefer to have a set with tons of little parts to put them together and to make something big. So well, here it's not how this works, but well, some people might complain about that. Some gimmicks also which doesn't really work that well. So for example, this sometimes doesn't work, or the walls just fall over itself. It doesn't really happen. It doesn't really happen all the time, but it happens sometimes, so that can be a little problem. And then in terms of complaint, I'm not really sure I have any more, in fact. Oh yes, also the fact that of course it's a symmetrical set. This means this part you're gonna build it twice, a second time. So there is a little bit of repetitivity. Even if personally I do not think it was that repetitive. It was that repetitive. So yes, I think it could have been worse. I think it still works fine, even if you have to build the things twice. I think it's okay, but once again, it can be considered as a little problem, as a little complaint. Even if for me, there is no real big deal right there. I have known worse, build that 2 times or 4 times, so yes, I have known worse. And that's all I think. Lack of details, big blocky parts, some gimmicks which doesn't really work that well, and the things that we build twice. I think I'm okay with the complaints. And well, now the playability, of course, is one of the main interesting point of this set, because it's full of playability. So like I said, you've got full of tons of gimmicks, so you can launch the disc right there, you can open or close the gate, you can move the bridge on or off, you can also launch the little spears right there, push this up or down, as the catapult right here, and the 2 walls which can be moved. So seriously, in terms of gimmicks and playability, it's really a great set. Plus the fact that, of course, there is no real rules, so you can really play with it, you can really pose the things the way you want, so it's quite nice. And finally, of course, the fact that you can put all the parts the way you want, thanks to the nice system of pinholes and pins, so it works just fine, and you can really put the sets the way you want. So for example, if you want to put these 2 parts together, you can. If you want to just put all the parts right here, well, you can do that, or you can also do that. So seriously, it's all about playability. You can also add the parts from the Tower of Toa playset. So seriously, and overall, it's really a great in terms of playability. And finally, the design. So one more complaint is that, of course, it's just a big wall. If I have to say, of course, it's not like a castle with some 4 walls, stuff like that. No, here it's just 1 wall, so it can be a little problem for in terms of design, because it's not a real base, it's a real fortress with 4 walls. So that might be a little problem, but except for that, I think in terms of design, it's pretty great because of course you got the big mask right here, which looks just impressive and incredible, and then you got the towers on this part, the catapult. So seriously, I have to say it's really a great set in terms of playability. And one last complaint before I finish is the new rope system. So of course it's quite nice because this time you are able to choose the length of the web you want to make, because you can make the knot wherever you want on the rope. But well, this big part is way more ugly. It's way uglier than just a little studs, of course, because you can really see a big green part than this little studs. So, well, overall, I think it was quite not really a good idea to replace this part with this ones. But well, it's up to you to decide whether or not it was a good solution. And that said, well, overall, it's a great set because it's quite like the Visual Gate of the Tower of Terror. It's got the same problems, of course. The inside lacks some details, stuff like that. There is some gimmicks which sometimes doesn't really work that well. It's mostly made of big bricks of, well, not only burbs, not big parts, but still some already made walls and pillars and stuff like that. But overall, I think, like the other set, it's quite the same. It works in terms of playability, it works in terms of design. So overall, I think it's a great set for kids mostly, because of course those who want a big building with tons of details will be quite disappointed, but those who want a big buildings with a lot of playability function and tons of gimmicks will be quite pleased. Plus, of course, we've got tons of minifigs, or well, figs, and even if they are not pretty well articulated, at least you got them in a large number. So this means you can only have some epic battles in this set, and I think that will be all for this review, guys. I think it's really a great set, a great play set, and well, if you like Bionicle, if you like play sets, well, just go for it if you find it at a nice price, because I think it's worth it. But well, also it's your opinion to decide if you like it or not. And well, if you have any comments, questions, your opinion, feel free to post them in the comment section of this video. I will happily answer them. And that said, guys, hope you enjoy this review, hope you enjoy this set, this play set, and well, see you later for another video review. Bye bye.